Manet's painting of the Universal Exposition has hung in the north wing of the National Gallery since its acquisition in 1923 by the Friends of the Gallery. The panoramic view of this great world event, which took place in Paris in 1867, has been inspired from the popular vantage point of the Trocadero, situated on the other side of the River Seine. This painting had in fact never been exhibited in Manet's lifetime, and was only first mentioned in the inventory made of the works left in his studio after his death in 1883. It was then subsequently sold in 1884 with the rest of Manet's estate, under the category of esquisse, the French word for a sketch. If we look closely, we can see that Manet's painting has actually been lined at some point in time. This means that an additional piece of canvas has been glued to its back so as to give it extra support. Using strong illumination projected across the surface at an oblique angle, known as raking light, all the various deformations and textural characteristics of the paint surface can be seen. Uneven clusters of small lumps were noted throughout the paint layers, but when examined under the microscope, these deformations appeared to stem from beneath the paint surface itself, and were indicative of either heat or glue problems associated with the unsuccessful lining procedure. Under ultraviolet light, a distinctive surface fluorescence confirmed the presence of a varnish layer, although it remained difficult to distinguish any retouchings. What was needed was the application of a technique that could penetrate beneath the surface and reveal the so-called skeleton of the painting. This was achieved by using X-rays. For example, an X-ray of the yellow cloud below the hot air balloon confirmed the presence of secondary overpaint covering over an old tear in the canvas support. If we take a closer look at the figure of the boy Léon, who was actually Manet's stepson walking his dog, the thicker yellow pigmented background appears slightly suspicious. And under X-ray, perhaps a faint silhouette of the boy can be seen to the left. This could suggest that Manet had initially positioned him further in. A further and more important discovery made from the X-rays was that Manet's original canvas had in fact been extended along all of its four edges, as seen in this image, with the original edge of the canvas laying underneath later overpaint. How far then were these alterations undertaken to make the painting more saleable in 1884? And would it be also possible to gain an insight into Manet's working methods and techniques? The painting was then further examined under high magnification, and select microscopic pigment scrapings were taken for analysis. One of the samples taken is from the gardener's shoulder, and when looking at the cross-section, we see first, from the bottom, a distinctive white ground layer, followed by a yellow layer corresponding to the background colour. However, the top blue pigmented layers appear to merge into the yellow paint layer underneath. This is indicative that Manet applied colours and layers before they had fully dried, a technique known as working wet in wet. Pigment identification carried out in the foreground also revealed a mixture of two blue pigments, Prussian blue and a synthetic ultramarine. The gardener is then perhaps standing in a shallow pond, which might also explain his ability to source water locally for his syringe-like hose. Underneath the bridge, Le Pont d'Alma, Manet's unfinished dark brushstrokes reflect a more spontaneous technique of roughing out figures or shapes directly onto the canvas. He first loosely sketches in the outlines before blocking them in with bolder colours. Equally, Manet also uses thick bristle brushes, where the colours of the composition are often blended upon application. Manet's view of the World Exhibition has all the characteristics of a painting executed fairly rapidly and over a short period of time, using a limited palette of colours. Left as an unfinished sketch, Manet allows us to see his working methods as a painter.